How can you set up an easy saltwater aquarium? Well, let's find out. So for those who have seen my last episode, you might be wondering, why do you have a second saltwater aquarium? Well, part of it is because I'm pretty crazy, and the other reason, the main reason, is because I had that 3-gallon, which I was trying to convert into a super nanocube, but then I realized I needed an upgrade, so I ordered this JBJ Nanocube. The website seemed kind of shady. It took over a month for this to get to me, so in the meantime, I got that Fluval Flex. But this did end up arriving at my doorstep, so I figured, if I return it, they say it's like a 40% restocking fee, so I decided just to keep it. It was $100, so whatever. It has better lights on it, so I can get some simple corals to put in here. So I figured we're going to set this up, and we'll have another, it's a small 6-gallon aquarium, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm also happy to have this JBJ Nanocube because this came out, I think, around 2005-ish. So I wanted to get a saltwater aquarium as early as 2003. And of course, back then, when I got advice from the people at the fish store, it was kind of more overly complicated, over my head, larger setups. So when something like this came out, just a small little 6-gallon saltwater aquarium, I was really excited. I really wanted to get it. But of course, since I was a young kid, I couldn't convince my parents to get one. And then when I ended up setting it up in high school, I just did a hang-on back filter on a 10-gallon. So I always wanted one of these, and I finally have it. But is it going to be worth it? Well, we'll see. Alright, so how do we get started? Well, we have the JBJ Nanocube. It's a 6-gallon because I'm kind of cheap, and plus, I was only planning on keeping really small Mandarin dragonets, so it didn't really matter too much to me. But I think for most people, the 12-gallon JBJ Nanocube is probably a better option. But you can kind of decide for yourself what you want to keep. If you want just invertebrates, this would be kind of fine as well. There's some corals and one fish, which is what I'll be doing with it. So this comes with the aquarium, it comes with the filter sponge and filter substrates, it comes with a return pump, which, mine broke, so we'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's all that's included. So in addition to this, you're going to want to have your water. I recommend you get distilled water or reverse osmosis water to mix up your salt water. You're going to need some salt. I've been using Instant Ocean sea salt for quite some time now. And then a salinity meter to measure the salinity in your water. Now, if you're using tap water, you also should get the marine conditioner to make it safe for use. I've done tap water before, never really had too many problems with it, but of course, the best thing that I can recommend is the distilled water or reverse osmosis water that doesn't have any compounds or minerals in it, which even if it's dechlorinated, those minerals can build up in different concentrations. You can have copper in your pipes, so it's better to use reverse osmosis or distilled. Now what else do we need? We need a bucket to mix up our salt water, and then this hose to transfer the water. And then it's nice to have a heater and an extra heater, so you can put a heater into your bucket and mix it up with the correct temperature. I got this Aqueon preset 50-watt heater. It's preset to 78, so for this simple nanocube, should be fine. I wanted to get a different one, but this is all they had in store. I will probably upgrade this to a thermometer, which I can adjust to be a little warmer. Now you need your live rock and your live sand, of course, and then I have some additives here. Liquid calcium is usually what I use, essential elements, it's a good idea sometimes. And then I also bought Purple Tech. You don't need it, but I like to grow that purple coralline algae, so I got myself a bottle of this. What I've been doing these days is also adding the Quick Start bacteria, either the Instant Ocean Biospira or the API Quick Start. You can also get something like Microbacter 7, and then there's another one I'm forgetting. Basically, they're bottles of dormant bacteria. You put it in your aquarium, it gets the cycle started right away. If you have the live sand and the live rock, that also has bacteria on it, but I just like to be super quick. So I opt to get those as well. And then another good idea is to get a saltwater master test kit. You'll be testing the ammonia, nitrites, and nitrates with this. You don't need it. I've set up an aquarium before. You kind of just wait 6 weeks and you go into it kind of blindly. Not the best idea. It is possible. I've done it before, but It's probably a better idea to get the saltwater master test kit so you can see what kind of ammonia levels, nitrite, and nitrate levels you have in your aquarium once you're adding food and fish, and see if you need to change the water. All right, so let's get started. Let's set up this aquarium. All right, so here we have the Nanocube LED 6-gallon all-in-one aquarium by JBJ Nanocubes. So you can see it's got 3-stage filtration, it's got advanced LED lighting, and I don't know how great that light is, but it should be fine for some simple corals like some zoanthids and maybe a xenia coral. So let's open this up. It was packaged pretty stiffly in that styrofoam. It comes with an owner manual. It comes with this surface skimmer. I don't know what good that is. It was a little bit difficult to get out of the box, but eventually I did manage doing it. So let's go take a look at what's inside of the actual aquarium. Alright, so here we have the Nanocube 6-gallon by JBJ. I kind of like the look. Maybe looks a little bit kind of outdated, but that might just be my nostalgia. You have the feeding flap, and then also the entire lid opens up and kind of locks into place. There is the output from the filter. Then you have the ceramic beads and some activated carbon in here. And one extra thing it comes with is some of these bio balls, which the bacteria also grow on. People say these days that some kind of porous rock is a little bit better than those bio balls, but comes with them anyways. It's kind of nice. The Fluval Flex didn't come with those. And then of course we have a gigantic sponge and then one single overflow at the top. And then here we have 6 LED lights, and those also come with a fan on top that cools them off. So that's nice, but also makes a little bit more noise when you're running this aquarium than just the filter. So I filled it up with water just to see if there's any leaks. I turned on the pump. We got some dust off of the filter media. So everything seems to be running correctly. And then there is only the overflow at the top. I would have liked the overflow at the bottom too, like the Fluval Flex, but oh well, maybe not really a huge deal. So I rinsed all that off. Now it's getting kind of a soak just to get any extra particles. And then what I'll do is turn on the lights, and you can see it looks very extremely blue. But that's because my camera can't really pick up the correct colors from these LEDs. So does that mean that they're very strong? I don't know, I hope so. But the point is, it looks very blue on video, but it's not like that in person. It is a little bit more white light when you see it in person. All right, so let's set this up. We have the preset heater at 78 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 50 watts, which was good for this amount of gallons. Now, is it the best heater? Like I said, no. If I add corals, I want something that I can adjust and get a little bit warmer, but it was fine for now just to cycle the aquarium. And then I'll look for a higher end heater that I want to get. But this was a cheap one. Like I said, good enough to cycle the aquarium. Of course, you can start with a good one right away. I just couldn't find one in person. So I stick it in the back compartment there. The one on the right had the most space because it's just the tube from the motor that drives the output of this whole filter compartment. So it had room in there. I stuck it to the wall. I put the cord out of one of the holes in the lid. And then what we're going to do is standard setup. I got this bag of Carib Sea live sand. Of course, this is live sand because it's sand packaged wet with a bunch of bacteria in it. So this will start the cycle in your aquarium, and that of course is a cycle of bacteria buildup. It's beneficial bacteria that will break down the fish waste, so I always add the live sand. And then another thing I add is live rock. This isn't going to be aquascaping. I'm going to redo this later on. I'm just kind of adding in these two pieces just to show you the basic idea of adding the live sand and the live rock. Now here I have the instant ocean mix that I use, and I have it at about 1.022, and you're going to want to maybe do it a little bit higher. That's what they recommend on the box, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that there is a wide range of fish, so you want to double check what your species needs. And if I want to do corals, I'm going to have to start building that salinity up slowly over time. So the 1.022 was fine for the initial setup, but honestly, I think I'm going to start going higher, at least 1.026 or 1.027, and then if I add corals, I might even go a little bit higher than that, but we'll see. So anyways, it's a basic idea to just pour water inside of your aquarium. Only thing is that if you pour it on the sand, it'll stir up, it'll get cloudy.
and all the sand and all the little particles, they're almost like little dust particles of, very, very small sand. They sink down back to the bottom over time, but it's better to just avoid that. You have nice crystal clear water right away if you kind of are careful. So I filled up the back filter compartment, and then I just tried to aim the water to fall on the rocks so that it gets kind of diffused and it doesn't hit the sand, it doesn't stir it up as much. Inevitably, you stir some up and there's a little bit of cloudiness, but like I said, that all goes away eventually, so there's not really much of a problem. So we're just going to fill this up all the way and then turn the filter on. All right, so then I add in this clarifier, and that'll help everything fall out of the water column so it clears up the cloudiness. And now we get to the interesting part of the video, because I didn't even have this aquarium for 24 hours before the pump broke. It was the Excella pump that is produced, or I guess used, for every aquarium by the JBJ company, and basically the impeller broke, so it was making an extremely loud sound and it wasn't filtering the water. So I'll show you exactly how that sounded in this next clip. There's not going to be a voiceover because I want you to hear it. Okay, so I took the pump out and the impeller is broken. It's in two pieces when it should be in one piece. So is this a problem with all of the nanocubes? I don't know. I don't think so. I think my particular pump was just faulty, but that is the brand that comes with the JBJ Nanocubes, and I wanted to include it in this video just so everybody is aware of my personal experience, and you can kind of decide if you want to risk it or not, deal with replacing the pump. I think the company will replace it, but I don't know, even then, not everybody wants to deal with it, so just so you're aware, that's what happened with my JBJ Nanocube. So I went to the store the next day, I said, do you have the similar replacement? They said, well, we don't have the exact one, but we have this similar, I don't know, CC Mousse, it's, I guess, an Italian brand. Not sure how to pronounce it, but whatever. It has a similar flow rate, if not a stronger flow rate, and it was kind of difficult to find a pump that kind of fits back there because you need something thin to fit in that back compartment. But I replaced the pump, and then of course I cycled it, and here we go. I did not add this fish right away. You can see there's some snails around there, a little bit of hermit crabs, and I cycled it for about 6 weeks, and then I tossed in this strawberry dotty back. And I will be adding some corals, but I'm going to be cycling it a little bit longer just to make sure the water quality is good before I add those. You can see I changed the rock work a little bit. I'm not the best with the aquascaping. Maybe if I got some super glue and I built it and then put it in, I can make something that looks a little bit neater. Of course, the coralline algae has to grow on all those rocks to make it look purple and nice and uniform, but I think it's good. It has kind of a three-dimensional look. The dotty back loves to hide in all the crevices and caves I made, so I'm happy with it. I'm not really, too super concerned about how the aquascape looks. We can always change it later on. So that is what I did to set up this JBJ Nanocube. Like I said, I'll make a separate video all about cycling the aquarium and what the whole bacteria cycle is about, but that's it for now. This will be my dotty back and my coral aquarium.